1, 2, 1, 2. Tonight, in a jam co-sponsored by Jerry Halls, we bring to you tonight live the band Survival Sounds at the Lyricist Lounge. And it's a packed crowd, 80,000 people live in Shea Stadium. Tonight, we got Prince, Madonna, and the Perverted Flasher, the Midnight Cocoa Butter, Holotape watching, live beaming down from Venus.
Flip the script.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Now sit down and shut up.
Where the beat go?
This for you, Snowflake. This is my special blend. I call this here Clark Kent. Just sniff this rain. Sniff that. Stay good, huh? Yo, you smoke this shit, and you want to just rip your clothes off in the phone booth and fight crime.
Welcome back to Flip the Script. This is Sober Ryu. Thank you for joining the program. Anyway, glad you're listening. This is a pilot episode. I wouldn't say a pilot episode, but it's our first episode, official episode that we're doing. You can check us out at fts.podshow.com. That's our main podcast site. And then we're also on MySpace, and that website is myspace.com/FTS Shinjuku. That's SHINJUKU. We're also on the Old School Gamers Network. Actually, we're part of it, and that website is osgnetwork.com. Now that we're back, the next subject is one that I don't know if you've watched Adult Swim, but there's one particular show on Adult Swim that when it's on, I just can't turn it off.
Full Metal Alchemist.
No matter what. And it's not like I go out of my way to watch this show. I do like it a lot. But when it's on, I get sucked into it. And it's because every episode has a really good storyline. And this show is Ghost in the Shell. And on Ghost in the Shell, I wasn't a big fan of the movie when it came out in 1995. I watched it. I thought it was garbage. And again, I was 11 years younger. But I thought it was at an age where I could comprehend the movie. I just didn't think it flowed very well. And I'm a big anime fan. I wasn't feeling it. And then when they announced the TV show, I thought that maybe it was gonna suck. Then one of my favorite anime composers, Yoko Kanno, was doing the music. She did the music to Cowboy Bebop and all that stuff. So at least I knew I was gonna get the soundtrack. And but then I never really went out of my way to watch the show. But when Adult Swim picked it up with Alchemist, I was watching Full Metal Alchemist, and then I let Ghost in the Shell play, and then I just find myself completely sucked into the episode.
Forgot all about Alchemist.
And I'd see all the CG they put into the show. It's visually attractive, but the stories are so compelling. I'm a big science fiction buff. I've read quite a bit of science fiction novels. And you sit there and you watch Ghost in the Shell, and it captures a lot of that cyberpunk, like Philip K. Dick type novel that cyberpunk vibe. That I thought was dead after the 80s. They really bring it back hardcore, and I love the show for that.
They expand on it better than that, though.
But they redefine the genre.
It's more realistic. I mean, the thing that makes the show so appealing is the fact that it's like set like 2040, 2030 or something.
It's 2030. It's 2031.
Yeah, I mean it's not too far in the future, but it's far enough. But I mean, the advances that they make in cybernetics and robotics and computer AI, etc.
Seems real feasible.
Yeah, it seems real feasible, but it's the way that everything is interlaced with conspiracies. There's definitely an overtone with how things are going to change in the upcoming world when it comes to America is basically a demonized country. America is basically a destroyed country after the world wars that they have. Japan is the only thing that's left because of the treaties. They're actually saved, because of the treaty that we had after World War II. So I mean, it's a pretty deep show, and they go into the whole thing of ethics. I think that's the main focus of that show is ethical dilemmas. Yeah, there's an ethical dilemma in everything.
But on top of that, they bring a lot of topics that we're dealing with today into light in the show, and they fast forwarded to that time period in the show to see exactly how they still affect the world, if not in a worse situation. And I think I think it really brings a lot of subjects that need to be talked about to life. Anybody else have any input on what they like about the show? Or
I think what's great about the show is just how everything's presented. With all the dialogue and everything, all the content that they try to cram into a show, it could have easily been a snoozer. It could have been a really boring show,
much like the movie.
Right, but you keep coming back because the show flows well.
The show does not dumb down at all. I mean, it's very intelligently presented, and the story told is like, all right, I feel smart just watching it.
Yeah, and it's fast paced.
Right.
I mean, and the other thing that makes the show really good too is the fact that even though you're talking about robotics and cybernetics and all that stuff, everything goes down to the human soul. Everything goes down, and that's what they go into. And I think and the whole ethical dilemma about everything, and that's what makes it so appealing. Like Sho said, they don't dumb down everything.
Right.
No, you're right. It's true. The show just takes the manga and the movies, and it runs with it, and it goes so much further. And Sobro has been saying that the writer of the show, he's fleshed out the world so well that you could basically have a show with content like 10 years from now, and it even then 10 years down the line, it still would be just the beginning of what you could get into and what you could really talk about. It's just such a well thought out show.
It's ridiculously detailed.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
You realize that in Japan they're actually trying to develop technology that's been started in that show.
Yeah.
Like the optical camouflage at Tokyo University. They have a project going on where they're trying to actually develop that actual technology, and they're actually coming quite along. I mean, that's amazing if they actually pulled that off. But they were inspired by Ghost in the Shell.
The other great aspect is the fact that they got characters that they have. The main character usually is the major. She's the main person. She was in the movies and everything like that, but all of the supporting characters are as interesting or more interesting than even her.
Yeah.
I mean, and they focus on these guys.
Bato is
between
the man.
each
the
incarnation of Standalone Complex. The
show
first
can
one
be
is
very character driven, great character development. Even characters that they don't even talk about, they're still so cool. And when you finally get an episode that explains about that character, it's like, holy crap, it just puts it to a whole nother level.
Hell, even the Tachikomas are the shit.
I hope everybody's listening closely, because Sho likes this. He likes this.
I love Ghost in the Shell. It's one of those shows I've known about it. I'm like, I don't have the time really to watch it, but I swear to God, when you just change the channel and you land on Ghost in the Shell, you're like, huh. Yeah. And you're still watching it, like, I'll change it when the commercial break comes or something better comes up, but huh. And before you know it, it just sucked me in. I watched the whole thing. I'm like, huh.
and it's
good stuff.
And it's one of those shows that no matter how many times you've seen an episode, if like you said, if you're flipping through, there's nothing else on,
right.
And we have it on demand down here too, and we'll sit there and watch it all the time.
I had seen the episode twice before.
I watched it 2 weeks ago
every day.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean, and it's such a shame because, and we're not even going. I'm not even talking about anime shows, but just TV shows in general are, they could learn a lot from what this show has to offer and how the people that created this show and the world that they created. I mean, it's so compelling.
In the way the stories are presented, in the way the characters are fleshed out, and in the way that the plot was developed throughout the whole first and second season. I mean, I love the fact that some episodes have nothing to do with the main plot. They're just standalone episodes, hence the whole standalone and complex thing. Yeah. Well, actually, standalone complex is it's a reference to like a state of mind or something like that, having to do with the internet. I'm not sure what it all entails. I mean, that's a Wikipedia moment, I guess. But no, it's a real interesting show. I do find some of the I find more of the standalone episodes more compelling than the actual plot line. Like the episode where Bateau has to go undercover and actually get close to someone he used to look up to as a young man.
the fighter.
The fighter.
The
boxing one.
Yes.
That was out.
Any words on that, Lee?
Hey, I haven't watched them all, man.
Yeah, I can't remember
no
the episode
spoilers
right now, but I just remember, a couple of highlights from it.
I remember
Yeah,
it.
that was a hot episode.
That was a hot
It's
episode.
I think it's still on demand.